Hi everyone, how are you doing today? It's been a little while since my last video, I guess a couple months since my last proper full-length video, and lots of reasons for that. A big one was that I got really sick in December and was busy with other things as well, and have been reading some books that I just haven't finished yet. So just various reasons, but I thought I would do a reading update today and a channel update as well. So I am still making my way through the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I know I've been reading this forever. I am about halfway though, and enjoying it. You know, I like these short stories much better than the novels. I think they offer so much more variety and interesting characters and just lots of reasons to really enjoy these short stories. I think when Doyle started doing the short stories, he managed to break out of the mold of just, crime scene investigations or, just the standard detective stuff. I think here he's really managed to get into the weird fiction side of things with these, and also develop the character of Sherlock Holmes a little better in the way he interacts with his clients and with Watson. So, good collection. I am kind of going through this slowly, I think in part because I know what happens in each story, so there's not a lot of suspense to drive me forward, but I am enjoying this. Haven't finished it yet though. Let's see. Now this is a book that I have been reading a bit more diligently. This is Noli Tángere by José Rizal, and I am at about page 116 out of 428. So I've been just kind of reading a little bit of this every day or so. Been taking a few notes. This novel was written in the 80s when Rizal was in Europe, away from his homeland, the Philippines. And in this novel, which was published in Germany, he critiques very strongly the Spanish ruling authorities in the Philippines at this time, as well as the Catholic clergy who were involved in some of these abuses of power and abuses of religious authority. So it's quite a dense book in terms of what he's trying to accomplish here. The characters are well, there's many of them, and he kind of jumps from each set of characters, sometimes within each chapter even. The chapters are pretty short, but we have a main character in the person of this young man named Ibarra, but the thing is, we only get to sort of see him in glimpses, at least in the first 100 pages. He starts out in the book having just returned from Europe, and then we switch focus for a bit, and then later we see him trying to find out what happened to his father. And while that in itself would kind of be an interesting story, all these other characters and plots, or conflicts rather, not fully fleshed plots, but all these other characters and their conflicts are surfacing, and you might even think that it's just a story of minor characters or story of subplots. But again, it's not as if any one plot is given that much attention yet. I'm still not halfway yet. So in that way, it's a bit frustrating because you kind of want him to focus on one thing and stick with it. On the other hand, it is kind of interesting to watch this book evolve through these first 100 pages, because I mentioned this in one of my shorts, but he starts out in the first chapter or two with all this irony, sarcasm, biting sarcasm, just a tone that kind of sets your expectations for that to continue. But what I found is that as it goes on, the author's voice changes. Sometimes he's more serious, sometimes he's more poetic, sometimes he offers very heavy-handed commentary, and at other times he just kind of seems to step back a bit. So it's, I mean, as I've told a few people now, this book is pretty uneven, but it's starting to grow on me. I'm starting to appreciate what he's doing here and the sheer variety of things he's trying to cover. And in the last few chapters I read recently, the tone of the book became a lot darker. It became a lot more tragic, as opposed to simply, you know, social commentary or whatever. Like, there's still that, but it takes on such a form as to really grab your attention and engage your emotions. So I don't know. I'm still not sure what to make of this entirely. I think I am enjoying it though, and I think it was a good choice for the Philippines, because not only is it an important book for them, but I think that there's enough you can get out of it as a reader from another country that you at least, you know, start to grasp at this history here. You wouldn't want this to be your only source of history for this time period, but it certainly opens the door for learning more about it, and I definitely appreciate that aspect of it. Okay, so the other book that I have recently started as also another read-along is The Samurai by Shūsaku Endō. I have featured Endō more than once on this channel and always enjoy his books, whether they're my favorites or not. This is that New Directions paperback I showed a while ago. I did finally take the wrapping off of it, and so I've only read a chapter, and I felt like it needed a bit more attention than I could give it last week. This week I think I will spend a bit more time with it, get a bit farther, but essentially what Endō sets up in the first chapter is the setting of 17th century Japan, really, like this says 1613, so just entering the 17th century, and the system of authority that was in Japan at the time, where they were ruled by, I think they're called daimyos, these different lords basically. And so this book covers an incident in which a Catholic missionary is called upon to work with a samurai to negotiate something with the Spanish, and something to do with, you know, this port city they're trying to set up, and, you know, ships they're trying to build. I haven't got that far yet, but that's what I've got out of it so far. As usual, Endō is not content with black and white moral characters. He wants to throw you a curveball and really make you question the characters. So the missionary in this book, though in many ways earnest about his work, suffers, or rather is prone to, this temptation of pride and a inclination to be contemptuous of some of his colleagues and at odds with other orders in the Catholic missionary efforts. So that's all happening, and that's already been introduced in the first chapter. And I think that is probably the thing that really would make this interesting as I go along. Not that the other parts of it aren't interesting, but well, we'll see. We'll see where the plot goes. But really, whenever you've got a character that's just kind of in the middle, not really good or bad, there's some interesting things that come out of that. So I think this will be good. I mean, I've never read an Endō novel that didn't grab me in some way, so we shall see. I do like this artwork. So that's The Samurai. Those are the three main books I'm reading at the moment. And as for the channel, I've been kind of taking stock of various commitments I have right now in terms of work, in terms of life, in terms of church, different things, you know, and lots of things I need to focus on in those areas for the foreseeable future. So I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with a frequent cadence on the channel, not as much as I used to, but I think I'm going to aim for at least once a month, hopefully more like twice a month. Videos will probably be a little more informal, just kind of like this, but with that I'm hoping to keep up at least some regular posting, and maybe maybe try a format where rather than constantly sharing reviews, maybe I'm actually just telling you, you know, what I'm thinking as I'm reading the book. So we're gonna try some different things this year. Hopefully it'll work out for everybody, and I always look forward to your comments as usual, so if you have feedback about that, you can let me know. But basically my time will be pretty limited, but all for good reasons, and I'm very excited about this year and hope that all of you are having a great reading year. So thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.